the ground shake.
What's up everyone, and I'm finally back with some gameplay. This is probably going to be like a one-off gameplay video, but it is of the new tier 10 Soviet tank destroyer, the Object 263. So both games are going to be on Falls Creek, and these games will show why I think the Object 263 is probably the most overpowered tier 10 we've ever had in Blitz. You're probably asking, why do I think this tank is so overpowered? Well, it has the three things it needs to be a good tank. It's got the armor, as you probably saw from my preview. It's got 320 superstructure armor, 250mm of the mantlet, and it's got the speed. It's got 55 kilometers an hour top speed limit, good traverse speed of 30 for a tank destroyer, and finally the gun. It has the highest damage per minute in the game. It's got 7.06 rounds a minute with the IS-7's gun, but better. Finally getting into this gameplay, we can see that most of the enemies have gone to the bridge, and that's probably why, because most of their team is German tanks. German tanks are big, they're slow, they're heavily armored, so they're not going to get to the cap circle in time. Just looking at our team, Mirza 263, T54, IS8, IS7, so they were better off going at the bridge, but now I'm punishing them with shots at their side. So I'm pummeling shots into the mouse. Now I've got the E75, and just look at how quickly I reload and take these guys apart. So unfortunately that E75 just manages to back off into cover as I reload, and yeah, I haven't got shots on anything else, which means this position isn't really great. So what I do here is I move up to this little bit here and just try to snipe. There's the IS-8 there, but he is hull down, and that's going to be really hard for me to penetrate, even with this 290mm of penetration on my gun. So there's a little shot of the mouse there. It is very hard to penetrate. Even with gold, it's a very, very risky shot, so I just don't take it. Is the IS-8 going to poke out a bit more? Yep, I managed to get the shot into his hull somehow, which is nice. So there is a threat to my left, and that is the T125 and the ISU-152. I was going to turn to face them, but then I see to my right this T54 decides to go for this T95. Now I want to get some damage in and try to help these out, but we are losing a lot of tanks. We've lost 3 tanks already, 4 tanks even, and now it's not looking good. So it's pretty obvious we're going to lose this, so I just have to do the most damage I can and hope. I don't know what I'm hoping for really with 4 tanks down, but yeah. Just took a load of hits there. 2 of them bounced, 1 was a heat round, and I think it was probably the E100's heat round that penetrated me and did 500 damage. Now I've got the back of this E5. He seems to be focused on trying to reset the cap, so he's not looking at me. I can put some shots into him. You should never ever let an Object 263 put shots into you, because you will die very, very quickly. There's that Yag Tiger, so it probably wasn't an ISU-152, it was a Yag Tiger, but put a shot into the Yag Tiger. Now the E100's coming up at me. It's 0-5 now. It's pretty obvious we lost, and there I go. So this game was obviously a loss, and at the time of playing this, I didn't think I did very well. It's pretty obvious I must have messed up in that game somewhere. I think what I probably could have done better is helped in the cap circle, just tried to cap the game out, because that was our only win condition. German tanks just rushing down, heavily armored ones rushing down the other side. There's no way we're winning that flank. So yeah, I always try to, assess what I did wrong and see how I could improve it. You probably should too, because it helps you get better. Yeah, more like 5,726, and that is a really good illusion of the Object 263. Sometimes you just think you did like 2,000 when in reality you did like 5,000-6,000 damage. It was a 672 experience loss. You can see I obviously did the most damage on the team, on any team, and 15 shots fired, 13 hit, 12 penetrates. So 12 penetrations do 5,700 damage, and that's just how good the Object 263 is. I didn't even think I did that well, and that's just how much the DPM can fool you with this tank. So here in the second match, we are on the other side of the map, and they have a lot more maneuverable heavies this time. They've got the IS-7, the T125, the IS-3, and they've got a good medium tank, the E50. So I do want to head to the cap. I do need some support. Even any support would help. Got a 62A going over there as well, and an IS-3 following, so I should just be okay. So making my way to the cap area, the first thing I spot is a T110E5. Now one really One weak point of this tank and this tank destroyer line in particular is the gun depression. The most any tank in this line gets is -4 degrees, and that is just not enough to do anything. I couldn't even poke out that ridge and shoot any of the tanks, not even the T125 Tumor. So knowing that I wouldn't win that fight, I decided to just go around so that I can be in a favourable position where I don't have to use my horrible gun depression and just shoot at them from the side, because my frontal armor is very strong. I should be able to just handle this E5, surprise him and totally screw up my shot. But this guy is basically just helpless. As I face hug him, I'm basically impenetrable unless he fires heat at my mantlet. So as I'm currently exposed to the IS-3 who's behind me, I have to kill this T125 very quickly. The Tiger 2 shows up, but he's not a problem because I'm facing him frontally. This E5 now is the main threat, and the T44 takes him out, which is good. This IS-3 comes up, tries to ram me in the side, but it doesn't work. I back off, and this is another point where the gun depression is just awful. I couldn't shoot at anything but the IS-3's turret, and that caused me to bounce. So I know I've got a team supporting me, so I just leave. I face the IS-3, but I don't shoot him. I want to shoot the more dangerous target, which is the E75, who has the stock 105mm gun. So I want to take him out because he does have a lot of armor, and it's going to be a troubling time for my team to try and deal with. So just look at how fast I'm putting these shots into him and just eradicating all his health. 62A takes him out, and now it's just the Tiger 2 who I can just finish off. Okay, so I can finally advance to face those tier 10 heavies and the E50. I was going to go around this corner, but then I realized I'm pretty exposed, so I back off just in time as the two tanks are spotted. The E100's coming down the hill. I do want to put a quick shot into him, but then I see the IS-7 is exposed a bit more. Gun depression problems yet again, but I do manage to find a position where I can use it, and now this is a good time for me. I've got the lower plate of an E100. He just missed his heat round, and that's not going to do much against the superstructure of an Object 263. So I've got him permatracked now. Well, he's tracked, uses his repair kit wisely. I go for the track shot again, and the reason, well, I have to try and get into this position again, but his repair crew is good, so he does repair before I reload. I think I can just advance it, but then I'm shot by the E50 in the side. I know he's there, so I have to move up so I'm not shot by him, and then I take a shot from the 100. So he either shot through my mantlet with heat or shot my lower front plate, and the lower front plate is probably the most likely scenario because it's exposed and it's easy to penetrate. The IS-7 tries to penetrate my lower front plate, but he misses as I turn my shot and it bounces right off. Waiting for him to expose himself again, and reloaded. 20 health, so I can just load an HE round to finish him off, and he's dead. Now just the E50 left. So loading an HE round for the E50 because he's on a tiny amount of health, and of course I screw the shot up. Good job me. Well, the 62A gets the kill, and that's the end of the game. So let's have a look at the results of that game. So that was a 6,300 damage game. I got a steel wall, which is unsurprising because of the amount of hits I took from the IS-3. 1,614 experience, and you can see 3 tanks on my team did 0 damage, so that means I did a very good job at stealing their damage. 5 enemies damage on the team, so that just shows how insane this gun is, the rate of fire, the accuracy, and so on. Well, anyway, that was gameplay of the Object 263. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching, and bye.